And Congress are now on a collision course with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's announcement of a formal impeachment inquiry today.
KCAL9's Tom Wade is here now with more on the president's reaction and what happens next. Tom?
Yeah, well, Sharon, this is definitely in a new phase. Tonight, the president says he's going to release the transcript of a phone call that pushed Democrats over the impeachment edge. And the whistleblower who reported that call, well, now he wants to speak to Congress, and he may by the end of the week.
I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's dramatic and historic decision today came in the wake of accusations President Trump pressured the president of Ukraine to investigate presidential candidate and Trump rival Joe Biden.
The president has admitted to asking the president of Ukraine to take actions which would benefit him politically. The actions of the Trump presidency revealed the dishonorable fact of the president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections.
Pelosi's change of heart coincided with a cascade of more than 30 House Democrats announcing they are now open to impeachment.
The future of our democracy is at stake.
This is the president basically saying, yes, I colluded. What are you going to do about it?
All of the stunning developments unfolded after a week of intense criticism of the Trump White House for keeping secret a whistleblower's complaint reportedly concerning conversations between President Trump and the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. In particular, a call between the two men in July. Trump has admitted multiple times, including this week at the United Nations, to discussing investigating Biden with Zelensky. Biden's son once served on the board of a Ukrainian energy company, but no one except Trump has ever claimed any wrongdoing.
There was pressure put on with respect to Joe Biden. What Joe Biden did for his son, that's something they should be looking at.
And then there's this. CBS News has confirmed Mr. Trump unexpectedly told top aides to withhold $400 million in military aid for Ukraine days before he spoke on the phone with President Zelensky. President Trump denies there was any improper arrangement.
It was a perfect call. There was no quid pro quo.
But Trump's explanations for why he withheld the money has changed. Yesterday, it was for fear of corruption in Ukraine.
We're supporting a country. We want to make sure that country is honest.
Today, it shifted to burden sharing.
Because I think that other countries should be paying also. Why is the United States the only one paying to Ukraine?
Meanwhile, the Senate's Republican leader was notably neutral.
Well, we're going to find out what happened.
What rationale did the administration give you this summer for holding up military aid to Ukraine?
I talked to the Secretary of Defense twice, the Secretary of State once. I have no idea what precipitated the delay.
They never gave you a reason?
I was not given an explanation. Fortunately, it finally happened, and I'm glad about that.
California Democrat and chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, he and the heads of 5 other committees will lead the impeachment investigation.
The Inspector General, in terms of the whistleblower complaint, has said that this matter is not only credible, but it's urgent.
President Trump lashed out on the impeachment inquiry on Twitter tonight, unleashing a flurry of tweets. Presidential harassment, he said. They never even saw the transcript of the call, a total witch hunt. Pelosi, Nadler, Schiff, of course, Maxine Waters. Can you believe this? Such an important day at the United Nations, so much work and so much success, and the Democrats purposely had to ruin and demean it with more breaking news, witch hunt garbage, so bad for our country. So now we wait for a transcript of the call at the center of this, and of course, for the whistleblower, his report and any testimony. We may know a whole lot more in just 24 hours.
Wow.
Juan, Sharon.
What's going on?
Tom, thanks.